Can you guess who do you think you're talking to?
Is this Hacksaw Jim Duggan? It's Mick Foley.
Think again, brother.
Oh my God, it's
Feel
Costas.
yourself.
Keith Costas.
Excellent work by you, brother.
WWE superstar Keith Costas.
Rey Mysterio Costas right there. What a legend.
That was
One of the greatest segments ever. One of the greatest segments ever. Costas came with the mask.
Did you really have no idea?
I had no idea. I really thought it was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Turns out it's Keith Costas. It's awesome in the back.
Keith wanted to make sure we explained that is not his mask. He doesn't have a collection of masks somewhere here on
You know what? I'm not sure if he does it, Ronnie. I don't know. You don't know what Keith does when he goes home at night.
Keith, well, we got to let you defend yourself here, Keith. Come
Clear
on
my
now.
name. This mask is being retired. It is no more. That was one time only.
Come on, Costas.
There you go.
You wear it well, buddy.
That was awesome. All right, Sean Casey, the mayor, with us here, riding out the rest of Hot Stove. And guys, we talked about it earlier here at spring training. Pitchers and catchers are reporting for most teams starting in next week, and guys are already getting an early jump start. And Matt Harvey is one of them, Ron. You're obviously going to see a lot of Matt Harvey coming up, and Harvey obviously coming back off Tommy John surgery. Wanted to get going, anxious, already down in Port St. Lucie, saying there's a Lowe's, Jacob deGrom there. But here's Harvey now on just getting back into the swing of things.
The offseason was good, and you know, preparing for a normal spring training was nice. It was much anticipated coming down here, and you know, happy to get started. Coming down here feels like I really haven't missed a whole year. I'm healthy, so whatever they decide, you know, obviously that's what we're going to go with, and you know, we'll see what happens throughout spring training.
Matt Harvey's got a deadpan kind of quality to him. Could be one of the true superstars of the game. Great personality, Case. What do you expect from him, though, getting back on the diamond?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, Ron, you're with those guys a lot. He seems like a guy that's going to be itching to get back out there, be ready,
Big time.
and just wants to get on the toe of the slab and start throwing some strikes and see how he feels, get back in that competition. But, you know, what do you think is going to be his biggest hurdle he's going to have to face coming back, you know, from all this time?
I think his biggest hurdle is just calming down, because I think they're going to have him on some kind of program, throwing regimen, to make sure that, you know, he doesn't go over a certain amount of pitches. You know, Jordan Zimmerman, the year after he came back from the same surgery, he only made 26 starts, 28 for Strasburg the year after. They kept him around that 160 inning mark. So they want to kind of do that with Harvey. One of the reasons being is that in New York, they expect to be playing some October baseball. You know, they don't want to be stuck without him or the ability to use him at all in October. But I wanted to ask you, spring training is a very funny thing, because it goes in two different speeds for pitchers and hitters. Pitchers are firing bullets from day one, and the hitters are in there like, wait a minute, I have no chance of catching up with that. And by the end of March, it's always the same.
Yeah.
If you throw one down the middle, it's getting hit right back at you.
Well, you know, at the beginning of spring training, when you guys come out just flame throwing, and early on, when you're a young player, come in, you want to make an impression. You take a couple hacks at those pitches, blow your bat up, hands are killing you. It's not fun at all. Literally, break your thumb. And as your career goes on, that's when I just take like 20 pitches in a row. Boom, boom. I'm not swinging today. That 95 looks like 108, and I'm not swinging. But you know, this is the time the juices get flowing. It's a lot of fun down there.
First spring training that I had with the A's, Ricky Henderson was in the batter's box. One got away and hit him. So he just dropped his bat, walked out of the cage, walked into the clubhouse, was gone. I never saw him like for 3 or 4 days. Like, I'm not dealing with it.
Ricky doesn't get hit in BP. That's right. He don't get hit in BP.
And he'll tell you that, too.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, back to Harvey just real quickly. You talked about how they're going to have him on probably a regimen that's going to try to reduce the workload a little bit. Is he going to buy into that?
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, he has said already that he's going to buy into it. It's hard to do it when you're in the middle of it. You know, you can be started a little later, you know, maybe the home opener, maybe around the All-Star break, get a blow here or there. But I think when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to do. Like, I'm pitching, it's 0-0, it's the 6th inning, and like, we're going to hit for you this inning.
No, you're not.
Really?
No, you're not.
Really? I don't think that's going to happen.
He seems like the kind of guy
That's
you
the
got to
hard
pull the
part.
reins back too, right? I mean, he's a guy that wants to go.
That's going to be the hardest part, is that when you're in the middle of it and you're competing and you feel like you give your team the best chance to win, and that is kind of taken, you know, the rug is kind of pulled under. That'll be interesting to see how he reacts to it.
It's interesting now, Case, too, with the 2 wild cards. And we've seen, especially last year, we have 2 wild card teams making it all the way to the World Series here. teams now think that, you know what, whereas in the past they may not have thought that they were a postseason caliber type team.
Yeah.
Now they're starting to think, you know what, we're not that far away, and the Mets could be one of those teams.
Oh, no doubt about it, especially with that rotation, especially with the emergence of DeGrom coming in, Harvey coming back. I mean, you just got to love that rotation and what they bring. That's why you love the second wild card. The second wild card, because you come into August, September, now you're like, wow, look at all these cities and these teams that are still in it. The fan base is involved. It's a great thing. And you look at a team like the Mets and say, hey, listen, they have a good enough ball club to get into that wild card, that second slot, and be a big player this year.
What's interesting is that I have to say, when I first heard about the second wild card, my first thought was, boy, this is going to be like hockey, like everyone gets in, kind of deal. But I was completely wrong. I mean, it's one of the great things to have as many cities as you can that are in September, that are playing some meaningful baseball. And if you look at it this way, the Kansas City Royals, won 89 games last year?
Yep.
And they went within one game of winning it all. Yep. So any team that's out there that's won around 80 games, saying to themselves, okay, a game and a half more wins per month, and I'm in the postseason.
And you look at a team like the Padres, too, 77 wins last year. Add Shields, all the outfielders they added, all of a sudden you got to make, you make up 8-9 games, all of a sudden, boom, now you got the San Diego Padres talking about postseason.
And the tension, if you get that wild card spot, it's one game.
That's right.
It's not a series, not 2 out of 3, not 3 out of 5. It's one game. How old were you when you stopped playing?
I was 34.
35 years old. Yeah, crazy, right?
34 big ones.
I'm about at 56. You think you could well, 95 miles
I was just thinking, I finished at 35 on my birthday. I was released on my birthday when I was 35.
Was it a good birthday present?
No, because I probably should have stopped at 35.
Well, guys, Julio Franco, I mean, he stopped playing in the majors at 49, by the way, with the Braves. Well, he's 56 now, and he's over back in Japan. And he's going to be a player manager for the Ishikawa Million Stars. 56 years old.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this guy played 23 years in the majors, but also spent 3 seasons or so in Japan. 298 career average. I mean, Julio Franco getting it done.
Well, he always kept himself in great shape, but 56 years old, Ronnie. I haven't tough enough. 40 years old. I got to get up and stretch just to get out of bed. I'm doing the hamstring stretch, a couple, box squats.
Yeah, like the
trying to get moving.
Full Pilates before you get out of bed.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is that I got to see Julio late in his career with the Mets and saw Moises Alou late in his career with the Mets. And those are the two guys I can tell you, without a doubt, could roll out of bed at 75 years old and get a hit. They are just natural born, see it, hit it, put it in play. And it's nice to see Julio back in the game.
Yeah, plus with that stance, you don't teach that. That's natural.
And he had big bat. It looks like he was swinging with 2 fingers sometimes like this and just buggy whipping you. Just boom, barrel awareness. It's unbelievable.
He says he wants to get a shot at managing the majors, and hopefully it works out from 56 years old and still playing a little bit.
He loves it.